Hey there. Welcome to the Author's Way podcast, a journey to finding your voice. My name is Jennifer Wright, and I am your podcast host. So today we're going to be talking about questions. As I'm talking to people about writing their books, I get a lot of questions about the process, a lot of questions about how to get started, how to get finished. And I'm going to share some of those questions with you today. And toward the end of the podcast, I'm also going to give you an opportunity to send in your questions. So if you have any burning questions about writing your own book, you'll have an opportunity to send those to me, and we may be able to feature them in future podcasts. So before we get started, though, I just wanted to remind you that this podcast is brought to you by Wright. We are a book writing and publishing firm. We help entrepreneurs, we help executives, we help anyone really who is trying to get their words out into the world, their expertise and out into the world and raise their credibility in their market. We help them to do that by writing and publishing their book and getting their books into the hands of their audience. If you are interested in writing a book, you're not sure how to get started, not sure how to get finished, head over to our website. That's execuwright.com. That's EXECUWRIGHT.com. Take a look at our programs. Go ahead and if you'd like to schedule a strategy session with us, we'd love to learn about your book project or the thoughts that you have on getting started with a book. And we'd love to see what we can do to help. Absolutely love hearing your story though, and would love to hear some of your stories. That is execuwright.com. So let's get started. Questions. So we get a lot of questions about the book writing process, and I wanted to share some of those with you and see if they might help you in your book writing journey. So one of the questions I get the most, or it's really more of a statement. I hear a lot of people say, I'm not a writer. I can't write. And that's a real fear. It's a real concern for anyone who's wanting to write their book. And the first thing I'll say is you probably are better than you think you are. I know there's a lot of stress that comes out of, all of us, living through English class in high school or English classes in college and that red pen syndrome, where we get a lot of stress when we see that red pen come out or the red ink on our page. There's a lot of judgment around it that comes out of those experiences. So I would say, first of all, just kind of release all that judgment. I'm sure you're a better writer than what you think you are. You have the ability to talk about your expertise. You have the ability to talk about the things that you're passionate about. Writing it down is not much different than being able to talk about it. So what I would say, if you feel like you're not a good writer, there's a few things that you can do. Number one, get help. It doesn't necessarily have to be, somebody like me. It doesn't have to be paid help. It doesn't have to be a professional editor. You can reach out to friends and family. I'm sure there's someone in your circle that can help you give your thoughts, your opinions, and help you with that. The other thing that I would say is if you're struggling with this idea in your head, you're not a good writer. So when you sit down to write, and I've had this, sit down to write and the words don't come, the thoughts don't come. So if that's what is making you believe that you're not a good writer, then there's some things you can do to help with that. So record it. So if you're better at talking about what you do, we're talking about your expertise or talking about what you're passionate about, get a recorder. And as you're in the car driving somewhere, or as you're out walking, or in your house, pull out your recorder and just talk about what you're what you want to write about. Just talk about it. I think you'll be surprised at how easily, once you talk about it and then transcribe it, how easily the writing will come. And one of the things that I found, and I've talked to other people that this has happened to, once you start the process, more and more will come. You'll be surprised at how much information will come out of your mouth once you start recording it. Quite honestly, you don't even have to have any kind of special recorder. Computers have recorders on them. You can download apps for recorders. Most all smartphones now have memo recorders. So as long as you have enough memory in your smartphone, you should be able to record it. The other thing that's really nice is there's services now. So rev.com is one of the services. There's others. That's just one I'm familiar with. You pay a per minute fee and they transcribe the recording for you. So for not a lot of dollars, you can get your transcription. And now you've got your content, and now it's just a matter of editing. So if it's a matter of just getting the words out, get the words out any way that you need to. And if you need to talk it through, if you need to, you can have someone else help you. So you can talk and they can help capture the words. I mean, whatever you need to do to get the words out, once you have the words on paper, then it's just a matter of editing. So it just makes the process much easier. I think you'll find that if you do that, you will discover that you're a much better writer than you think you are. And then if you still are not happy with the product that's coming out, then find help. Find an editor. Ask a friend. If you have a friend that you know is really good with words, ask a friend to help you. Find a writing partner. A writing partner is not just an editor. A writing partner would sit down with you and really kind of dig in and ask you questions and help you write the content. So you don't feel like you're all by yourself writing it yourself. So, if that's what you're thinking, and that's what's holding you back is because you think you're not a good writer, there's lots of options. There's help. There's different processes that you can use. So try some of those. Reach out to me. I'm happy to talk you through some of those things. I'm happy to take a look at anything you have and give my thoughts. And just kind of release the idea and stop telling yourself that you're not good at it. You are good at a whole lot of things. You don't have to be good at writing. There are ways that you can get help with that. And, if that still doesn't work, reach out and we can find some different solutions for it, because there's lots and lots and lots of different ways that we can get your book done without you having that fear and without you feeling like it's not something that you can do. Hopefully that helps. Hopefully that helps to get rid of some of that fear. And I promise you, if you're thinking you're not a good writer, I promise you, you're better than you think you are. I've never met someone who just truly couldn't do it, and we'll talk in a few minutes about practice. That's another way that you can improve your skills. But we'll get into that in just a few minutes. So another question that I get a lot is, writing a book is a lot of work. What is the value of doing that for me? Why would I want to spend that time to get the book done? What would it give me? There's lots of answers to that question. I'll zero in just a couple of the most important ones. So if you are a business owner and you are marketing yourself or your business, particularly if you have a service-based business, or you are a solopreneur and what you are really marketing is yourself. So if you're a coach, if you're a consultant, if you're doing some kind of service for your clients and what you're really marketing is yourself, a book can be a very, very powerful tool to help in your marketing. It can help you to establish your credibility in whatever market or whatever industry that you're in. It can help show your expertise in your industry. It can help drill down on a very specific thing that you're an expert in. So there are a lot of people out there that are more generalist. If you have a very specific set of knowledge or a very specific skill set, it can really help you to show that skill set and why that skill set is valuable to your customers. I also find it very valuable to have, when you are trying to market your business, I find it very valuable to have a giveaway. Lots of consultants and coaches and mentors find it helpful to have a free gift. So, and there's lots of different free gifts that you can have. A book is one of the most powerful ones because it really does show that you know what you're talking about and you know what you're doing in your field. The other thing, I was explaining this to someone the other day. If you go to a networking event or you go and speak and you hand out business cards or you hand out a presentation that they then take away. And of course, it has your contact information, it has your name on it. Likely a business card, a flyer, a presentation, those things that are smaller, there's a good chance that they will end up in the trash. As much as we like to think that what we've created has crazy value and people are never going to get rid of it, and that card is going to stay in their wallet, or and they're going to think about you every time they need what it is you do. That's just not the case. I have stacks and stacks of business cards, and once it gets into my phone or it gets into my list, then it usually gets tossed. And then it's just a matter of me going through my list. And if I don't happen to come across you on my list, I'm probably, unless I meet you more than once, I'm probably not going to remember you. People are a lot less likely to throw away a book. The book will be taken home with them. It may sit on their table. It may sit on their desk. It may sit on their kitchen counter. Every time they walk by it, they're going to see it and they're going to remember you. It may go on their bookshelf, but they're going to remember you every time they see it. So it's like a business card, but it's a great big business card that is not going to be thrown away. So you have a lot more likely to be remembered by giving away a book than you are by giving away a business card or a flyer. So there's just huge value in having that and being able to give it away. And then a lot of people will ask me about, what about the ebook? Ebooks are great. I much prefer, for marketing purposes, I much prefer a copy, something that you can hold in your hand. Because like I said, it's going to sit on their desk. It's going to sit on their table. An ebook is just going to sit in their email box. And you know what happens? You know what happens to stuff in our email box? It gets ignored. It sits there, or it sits in their files on their computer. There's nothing wrong with an ebook. I know lots of people that use them. I prefer a physical book. However, And it doesn't even matter, hard copy, soft cover. I'm good with either of those. But if you have a physical book that you can give to people, it's much, much more memorable. The other audience, I would say, is the executives. So those who are in corporate careers, who are moving up in their careers, have the desire to either move from a senior level position into an executive position, move from an executive position into a C-suite, move from a C-suite into a CEO position, or into a board position. Those give you opportunities. Having a book can give you huge opportunities. It can set you apart from other candidates who are seeking the same or similar positions. It can establish your knowledge, your credibility. It shows a commitment to the work that you're doing. If you have spent the time to write a book, you really have a commitment to that industry, that market, that field, and it really shows your commitment to the value that you're bringing to that company. So huge benefit in, whether if you're not a business owner, I'm not an entrepreneur, I don't know why I would do that. There's huge benefit if you are moving up your career and in a corporate position and trying to get to a higher level executive position onto a board seat. It can really help propel you, and quite honestly, help you make more money. And as much as we want to say we want to, we have these altruistic, and we all have these altruistic goals. But ultimately, we want to make more money. We want to be able to support our families better. We want to be able to help the community. And the best way to do that is to make more money. So having a book can help you get a higher level position and honestly make more money in your corporate career. So something to consider. So I think those are pretty much the main reasons I give. There's lots of other reasons. It can help you, putting the work into writing a book can help you know your market. It can help you get to know yourself better. Once you start really kind of thinking about the stories that you want to tell and thinking about the expertise that you want to share, you really have to dig in and really get to know yourself so that you can share that with other people. It can help you if you're a speaker and you're trying to get bigger stages, it can help you get onto bigger stages. As a matter of fact, in some cases, in some conferences, having a book is kind of table stakes. You can't get to the conference without having a book. So it's a requirement in some cases. Just anywhere you're trying to grow and scale, whether it's your career or your business, or just anywhere in your life, making that commitment to write a book can really help to propel you through some of those stages. Another question I get is, I sit down to write and I don't know what to write about, or I get stuck. So this is where I was talking about earlier about practice. The best way to get better at writing is to do more writing. The best way to make it so that when you sit down to write and you have something to write about is to practice. If you think about other professions, you think about other creative activities. A friend of mine was a trombonist. He had been in the Army band, and he had gotten out of the Army band, and he was a trombonist, and he played in a number of different, mostly salsa bands. And I was amazed at the amount of time they spent every week rehearsing. And it was so interesting to me. And at the time, this was back a few years ago. At the time, I was working. For those of you who know me, I was working at Equifax, and I found that so fascinating. And I started thinking about, the work that I did day to day, putting together presentations and doing assessments, and it occurred to me that the people that I worked with and the people that I knew, and even myself, in those types of jobs, we don't practice. We put together a presentation and we go present it. There's not rehearsal. There's not, I mean, there is some for certain situations, but it's not a regular thing that we do. And I found that fascinating. And I think that's one thing about writing in general, whether you're writing a book or whether you're writing poetry or whether you're writing articles or novels. The act of practicing can help you become better and better and better. And what I think you'll also find is it will help you. The more you write, the more you will find to write about. So, I encourage a lot of people to try to find time to write every day. And if you're not able to write every day, write when you can. Maybe you have a 10-minute break in between meetings, or maybe you have a few minutes before while you're drinking your coffee. Just finding time to write is extremely valuable. And it doesn't even have to be good writing. You can write about anything. You can write about your day yesterday. You can write about a memory that you have. You can write about something about your family. You can write about a time in your life that you were stressed. And, just finding just random topics and just write about them. It doesn't have to be something that goes in the book. You might discover that if you sit down and write about, a time that you were really stressed, you may discover that ends up being a great topic for your book. Or it may turn into something that's helpful for your book. But not everything you write has to be something that's going into the book. It's just practice. So finding ways to practice helps you get better and better. It helps you to find your voice. It helps you to find your tone. It helps you to discover what types of writing you like and what types of writing you don't like. And it really helps you to just become a more thoughtful and more detailed and just overall better writer. And I think you'll find that the more and more you do it, the more you'll see the quality of your writing increase. So if you're still struggling with that and you still sit down and I don't know what to write about, there are tools out there that can help you. There are books out that give you writing prompts. There are card decks. I have one right here. This is Natalie Goldberg produced this one. Natalie Goldberg, I'll hold it up so you can see it. Natalie Goldberg was the first writer that I ever read that actually wrote about writing. She's very good. As far as I know, she's still writing today. This is a card deck, and it just gives you writing prompts. So you can just pull a card at any point during the day. You can go through them. They're numbered, so you can go through them by the number, or you can just pull a card. So here's one. I'll just read you this first one. Begin with, I'm thinking of, and every time you get stuck, simply come back again to I'm thinking of and keep going. So nice little tip. If you get stuck, nice little tip that you can use. So just find different tools. If you want to send me an email, You send me an email to Jennifer@execuwright.com. That's EXECUWRIGHT.com. I will send you a list of prompts that you can use. Just in the email, just say you want the prompts. I'll send you a list of prompts that you can use to help jumpstart anytime you're sitting down to write. So it's just a matter of just practice. So I think that's about our time for today. This has been really great. I've really enjoyed sharing this information with you. I hope you got a lot of value out of it. I will be doing these kinds of sessions periodically throughout the podcast. If you have a question yourself, if you have a question about the book writing process, you have a question about anything, how to get started, how to get finished, why, what, where, when, anything that you're curious about publishing, about writing, about content, drop me a line. You can either email me at the email I just gave you, Jennifer@execuwright.com, or go to my website, execuwright.com, click on the contact button, send me your name, your email address, and whatever question you have. I will include it in one of my upcoming podcasts, one of the Q&A sessions that I'll be doing. And I'll also email you the answer as well. So you can get it right away, or you can tune in to the podcast, and I'll let you know which podcast it'll be airing on. So this has been great. I've enjoyed sharing some information with you today. Reach out if there's anything I can do to help you, any questions I can answer for you. And until next time, this is the Author's Way.